I'm Pastor Jim Cobb. I served at Trinity Church from 1981 to 88, and it was a privilege to be able to do this video today with a couple remembrances that I want to share with the congregation. First, how did a Virginian get to Michigan to serve Trinity Church during that decade? Dr. Bill Butte had opened a private practice in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and then he and his family moved back to Grand Rapids. Pastor Ray Heine had been elected bishop, and he called one day and said, "I think your name should be on a list out here to interview as a potential pastoral candidate." So that was the connection. I had never been in Michigan. I thought Michigan was out there somewhere next to Montana, but I came out in the summer and the call was extended later, and we arrived in January with icicles hanging off the gutters, which I had never seen before, as we started our ministry in January 1981. As far as Trinity Church, the very first Sunday I was there, I will always remember that heads snapped up because I began to chant the liturgy that had never been done before at Trinity Church. About three things I remember. One was Trinity's involvement in ecumenism through Grace, Grand Rapids area for ecumenism. It was one of the leading congregations and continues to support ecumenical ministries in a great way. That's one of the really good things. I remember Helen Stroh and Kathy Boltice and the legacy of the great music tradition at Trinity. I remember lay leaders. I could begin down a list and would exhaust the rest of this message with the names of people who were so integral to the ministry of Trinity Church and all that it did. It seemed that every committee was fully staffed and functioning. There was a bustle of energy and enthusiasm for the ministry through Trinity Church. So the ecumenism, the musical leadership, and the laity and its strong emphasis on that kind of ministry are probably the three most impressive things I remember.
Hello, my dear Trinity family. I am Vicki Carone. Chris and I miss you so much and still think of you as home, even though we've made our new church home here in Indianapolis. Trinity was our church home for 24 years. Our children were baptized and confirmed and nurtured there. We sang there, ate there, worked and worshiped there. And for me personally, Trinity is where I grew into the oh so fulfilling position of Trinity's first faith community nurse. Together, we learned what our faith had to do with our health. Together, we figured out how to ask hard questions and how to find God's comfort and healing in pain. And together we worked, bringing God's healing to others. My fondness for each of you is deep. And for those of you who honored me with your unique stories, with your health care, it goes even deeper. As I saw God work for good in your lives, you pointed the same out to me. Your love made God's love tangible to me as it carried my family and me through some dark times. Your partnership made possible so much more love spreading than I could have done on my own. Today, as you celebrate 125 years, my heart is with you. Celebrate well, since God has blessed you so abundantly. And then I encourage you to continue to grow in your understanding of God's great love for you and in your sharing of that great love for the world around you. Love you.
Good morning. I'm Paul Krapinski. I was the senior pastor and for a while the only pastor here from 1995 till 2011. 16 years. A lot happened in those years. I was really blessed to be a part of a time at Trinity when we grew fast and added lots of important things to the ministry of the congregation. Stephen ministry, parish nurse, additional staff, And in that time, we air conditioned the sanctuary and re-insulated all the walls in the educational wing and put in a new furnace. And as I reflect back on those years, I think the thing that's most important to me is the people that I got to share my life with, and the people's families and their stories, the things that mattered most in their lives. I tried real hard to know everybody's name and information about them and where they grew up and what they did and how they were doing. Because church, a congregation, is about family. It's really most important. During that time, we went from 2 services on Sunday morning till 4, 2 Christmas Eve services to 5. So there were lots of Sundays and Christmas Eves when I was pretty busy along with the rest of the staff. People whose expertise in their area was wonderful, who gave of themselves so that our programs and the ministry grew. I was real blessed to have staff that gave so much of themselves to the growth of the congregation. Karen Niemeyer, Sylvia Stoughton, Vicki Carone, plus many others who work part-time in the ministry here at Trinity. I'm also kind of proud that I put together a youth mentorship program and put Steve, Stephan, and Amy as a team so that they ended up being married. It was my plan all along, for those of you who need to know that. I'm glad that I've had the privilege of serving and being a part of your life. I hope that it continues to be a special congregation of people who care about one another, who know one another, and are gracious and compassionate.
Greetings, Trinity. For those of you who do not know, I'm Pastor Sarah Stoby, and I served for a total of 9 years at Trinity, and it just went by in a blink of an eye. I am so grateful that I can join you right now to wish you a happy anniversary, a wonderful 125th anniversary. I have so many fond memories of my time at Trinity, so many friends and so many interactions, and it just overwhelms me at times when I think about my time with you as a people of God. My prayers are always with you. I'm always thankful for the start that I received with you. And as you can see now, I'm in my new church here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So just know that each and every Sunday, you do make an impact from the youngest child to the oldest, and that you have shared your blessings with not only people in Grand Rapids, Michigan, but beyond. Happy anniversary. God's peace and blessings to you and your loved ones.